capital market live on Channels Television. Then let's go offshore to other markets in Africa. And we'll look at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange where the all-share index prints 0.5% this week, coming in with an all-share index of 58,496. The Egyptian market is also looking good with some developments there as the market recovers from a stressed economy. It's up this week the most by 1.9% with the EGX 30 index closing at 16,221. The Nairobi Stock Exchange in Kenya is also looking green with 178 in its index, and that's positive by 0.9%. The BRVM is another market in South Africa with the Francophone nations printing 219 points in terms of index, up 1.0%. And this takes us to the AfCFTA agreement, which Nigeria opted out from in March of this year when 42 other countries signed up to the deal. Recently, the NSE-LSE held a high-level roundtable on dual listing with authorities in government. One of the presentations at that session was that of the Director General and Chief Negotiator for the Nigerian Office for Trade Negotiations, and that's Ambassador Chiedu Osakwe. He made reference to the role of the capital market in the AfCFTA, which Nigeria is now almost done understanding and hopefully should be signing soon.
There are many sources of growth in an economy. The capital market is one. Part of this conference and this dual listing conference, it's not just celebratory, but it's to acknowledge a fundamental fact that unquestionably the sectoral allocative efficiency of resources from capital markets simply is the best way of growing an economy, of generating resources and of generating investments. And so the second message from a trade negotiator, close on to 40 years of doing this, is that we should support what the Nigerian Stock Exchange is doing, support the dual partnership with the London Stock Exchange. It matters, and it matters hugely for the global economy, for the African economy, and for the Nigerian economy growing forward. It brings me to my third point. And the third point is about what I was invited to speak about. Not the market part of it, but the market part of it that comes from the rules part of it, the rules perspective, and that is the African Continental Free Trade Area. It's Nigeria's idea. The African Continental Free Trade Area is Nigeria's idea. Its roots are based in the 1980 Lagos Plan of Action. Move forward a bit to 1991, the Abuja Economic Treaty establishing the African Economic Community. Now, the rules cover trade in goods and trade in services in stage one. In stage two, it would cover competition policy, investment, and intellectual property. So what is in it for you, those in the market, those of you trading? What is in there for you? What is the substance of the rules? One, the principles of the agreement are predicated on what you know from GATT 1947-48, non-discrimination. In other words, you would accord a same treatment to a like product or a like measure in services for a like product for those who trade in them and that would be MFN, most favored nation. Or if it's national treatment, not too much jargon, you would have to do that between either producers or services providers of foreign and domestic origin. And empirically, what we know is that this has grown trade in goods and trade in services dramatically. So on the AfCFTA, what you basically have, and let me use Oscar's description for it, which I like, is that it would have, quote, a catalytic effect on the capital markets, not only for trade in goods, but also for trade in services. Specifically for trade in services, as part of what we agreed in the African Continental Free Trade area, most of it is in my mind because I was chairing the negotiating forum. We have 10, 11 priority services area. And this would interest you, of which financial services, insurance, banking, all sorts of financial intermediaries are components of it. It would also interest you that we have agreed when it comes into force for those countries that would be state parties to it to have something that was done originally in the WTO, quote, a signaling conference. And for trade in services. And I hope that you would be able, the stock market, including through your dual partnership, you would be able to support the signaling conference. And what would that mean? It would mean that all services providers on the continent would be assembled and convened in a place of our choosing, and they would indicate areas where they would like greater liberalization with appropriate domestic regulations in the area of trade and services or cross-border trade. So to begin to conclude on the AfCFTA, what are we looking at? What are you looking at? What is it that you would take away? The African Continental Free Trade Area establishes something that never previously existed in Africa. What is that? It gave us a constitution. You know, the way you think of municipal, domestic constitutions, where you have a balance of rights on the one hand and obligations on the other hand. It provides a constitutional basis for intra-African trade based on a balance of rights and obligations enforceable through a dispute settlement system. If the capital markets, both for London and Nigeria, if you don't like it, I wonder what you'd ever like.
Ambassador Chiedu Osakwe is Nigeria's chief negotiator for trade negotiations. Well, next week, you should watch out for the DMO's auction. The June Debt Management Office auction holds on Wednesday, June the 20th this month, and that is going to be coming on the back of liquidity inflows as expected by a lot of analysts. That is also supposed to support some strong buying at the start of next week, barring any liquidity mop-up by the Central Bank of Nigeria. And that's the show for this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Temple Ashaju. I'll see you next time.